blessing, and every L is a lesson. So when I run into rejection, I know it's only redirection. I see the blessings right beside me, the chances of quitting are likely. I do it like I'm in my Nikes, don't make excuses, they never excite me. Boxes, I cannot fit in the boxes. Stop it, quitting was never an option. Exhausted, this passion is never exhausted. And you cannot stop it.
Good morning, Knicks universe. Welcome back to another episode of the Knicks Morning Brew on this Friday, February 16th. Like always, I'm your guy Hector, hanging out with my compañero this morning. I got my guy Celso Porto. All you Knicks fans, wake up and get your coffee. Celsito, talk to the people. Oh, you like that, right?
That was good, bro. You even practice that. That was good. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I woke up today and I was like, one, I can put myself on injury assignment, right? And not do the show today since all the Knicks are injured. I thought maybe that would work. Then I was like, oh, it's All-Star break. Maybe we take off for the All-Star break. And then I was like, nah. Let's talk All-Star break. Let's talk Knicks.
Yeah.
Let's hang out. I see we got people in the building already.
Even though we're on the All-Star break, right? Even though it's going to be like a week without any Knicks basketball or anything like that, it's still Friday. We still had to pull up and we had to hang out with the community. We got over 40 people in the building right now watching us. If you're on Instagram, if you're on Facebook, if you're on X, click the link in the bio and jump on over to YouTube.
Yo, heck, you better be lucky the trade deadline's over, bro. Wiz would have traded your ass from Mikal quick as shit, bro.
Listen, Wiz, I you know what? I'll trade my ass for Mikal Bridges also, bro. Right? I'm right with you. If we could get Mikal Bridges on this team, sign me up. I think he is the missing piece. He is the missing infinity stone. You know, I just want to point something out real quick. So you remember like 2-3 weeks ago, or I want to say like 2.5 weeks ago, and folks in the chat, you guys remember as well. You remember when I brought up the point that if the New York Knicks win a championship, we will burn this city down. You remember when I brought that up, like jokingly, like Knicks fans would burn this city? You know what's crazy about it? Everybody now on TikTok and Twitter and NBA accounts and TikTok accounts, now random ass fans are run with that line. If Knicks fans win the championship, they're going to burn down the city. I just want to say, give your credit where credit is due.
CT Pippen says Knicks fans salty. I love it. I'm telling you, for real. And then I want to shout out our boy Tony, aka Thanos, in the building.
Tony.
Yo, Tony, check it out. Bam! Look at that segue. That was perfect. Yo, for those of you in the chat, on the 24th at Blarney Stone, we've hooked up with our boy Tony, bringing the Knicks universe, Twitterverse together for a watch-along live episode, hanging out. That's Knicks Celtics, man. Everybody come out, hang out with us. It's gonna be it's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. Yo, why don't you do a little roll call? So we got like
I do a little bit of the roll call. My guy Jacob Petruzzi said, "Shit, if we win, Heck would burn his house down." Absolutely, I would burn my house down. Jacob Petruzzi. Shout out to my guy Petruz in the chat. Mario 13, the OG, is in the building. Hey, yo, Mario, how you doing, my guy? Salute to you. Knicks will be the 2026 NBA champion every time. First of all, every time I see that name, I get excited just because of the name. And then when I look at the profile pic, I get hungry because I see a box of angry chicken with some soy sauce on the side.
I told you, I love that profile. I just need him to change it to 2024. So every time we read his comment, it brings even more joy. Who else we got in there?
Shout out my guy Stapper Don, the top general in the Knicks community. Stapper Don, I hope all is well. My guy Knicks are nice is in the building.
Enzo gang in the building.
Dios NYK, salute to you, my guy. One of the realest in the Knicks community. Savage NYC is in the building. A1 since day one. King Mez is in the building. Mezzy, how you doing? CT Pittman with the honorary salute
That's our
to you,
guy.
CT Pittman. And we got CP Mets and Knicks are in the building. And of course, my guy, the Wiz Kid from LA. Wiz,
can't
how
forget
you doing?
Alawiz is in the building. Shot Powers is in the building. What up, homies?
Listen, like I said before, we got over us collectively. If you're on Instagram, if you're on X or any other social media platform, click the link in the bio, jump on over to YouTube and join the conversation with your boys. Go ahead, Sosito.
So while we're shouting out the community, I want to give a shout out to Knicks Homer, bro.
Oh, yeah. Throw that picture up.
I had an idea in my head like 2 weeks ago. And I was like, man, I'm going to hit up Knicks Homer, man. I see him all over the timeline, what he's done for everybody, like the little artwork he did for us. And I was like, I can't get this idea out of my head. I hit this man up, and he said, I got you, bro. And my boy hooked it up today. Check it out. Bam, Knicks Homer came in clutch, son. Look at this. Look at that. I had to put him in there. You know, but look at that. He put me there. I was like, yo, I was like, I'm a Superman fan. I'm picturing 3 cases with outfits like Knicks, Yanks, and Jets, city skyline. He's like, I got you, bro. How dope did that come out, man?
That's fine. It looks like a cross between you, Lex Luger, and Lex Luthor, and Italy Jet. It looks like the 3 of you guys turned into one person. So shout out to you guys for making that happen.
Well, screw you. Number 2, that shit came out super dope. All right, and I love that he was like, "Yo, it's so easy to dress this guy. Give him some joggers, give him a hoodie, and he's ready to go." So
you know what?
Homer, appreciate you, bro. This came out so fire.
I've seen you with that same exact outfit on. I've seen you with that same exact outfit on. Knick fans, are you guys excited? Because I know we talked about it, NBA All-Star weekend. It's upon us. Our guy Jalen Brunson is going to be in a 3-point contest. Did you see him on I think it was TNT or whatever show he was on last night? When they asked him, it was like, what are you thinking about? What is the only thing that's going through your head when it comes to this 3-point contest? And he literally said, honestly, the only thing I'm thinking about is beating Julius' score from last year. That was awful. I love you, Julius, but I got to beat your score. What was your thoughts on that if you was able to see it?
Oh, no, I mean, it was one of those comments, man. Even the whole panel that was on there on TNT laughed, right? You just can't help but laugh. But it was funny, right? After that, Eddie hit me up and he was like, yo, you want to do a playback tomorrow? Let's watch the 3-point contest. Let's watch the dunk contest. He's like, we got our Knicks all in this. So we might actually do that tomorrow, bro. But
word, backstage, Celso said hell no, he's not going to do it. But after thinking about it for a few seconds, he's like, you know what? It seems right. It just seems all right. Heck, Jacob Petrucci said, heck, what you mean? That's his outfit he got on right now. Absolutely, Jacob Petrucci. Valentina is in the building. Valentina, how are you doing?
What up, Valentino?
And I got a clip that I want to share. I'm not sure if you guys saw it yesterday, and we'll get into like some other Knicks conversation. Of course, we'll go over.
And we're gonna
Julius
do open
Randle.
panel today too. So
yes.
We'll
injury updates for Julius Randle. Injury updates for Mitchell Robinson. But before we get into that, if you guys saw the Josh Hart and Jalen Brunson show yesterday, again, another banger. Make sure you guys watch it. I got a clip from the show, and I actually got 2 clips because they had Mikal Bridges on the show. So one clip is talking about the All-Star game in Indianapolis, and the other one is talking about Mikal Bridges and the Brooklyn Nets. So let's get into the first clip right now, Sos.
The thing they did was All-Star Indianapolis. The dopest thing they did was
I'm in and out though.
Yeah, the dopest thing they did, basketball court in the airport.
A couple appearances.
Big money.
Are you coming?
Hell no, I'm not going to Indianapolis.
Can you give me a PJ and a PJ back?
I'm not. If I don't have to play the Indiana Pacers, I'm not stepping foot in that state.
How about you tell people get you a little appearance? We could PJ.
He would have said no.
I do not want to be in Indiana for any All-Star break, anything. I am not an Indiana guy.
You don't want to be there when you play the Pacers.
I don't want to be there then. I am not an Indiana fan. Now, basketball court in the airport, dope idea.
Is that Indiana?
Yeah.
When they put
there's nothing like TSA tearing an ACL before the flight. You know what I mean?
Knicks fans are gonna love this. You on Indiana. Just that rivalry runs so deep.
Yeah, I don't really think about it. JB's like looking at me like, yo, you shouldn't be playing this. But like, I hate going to Indiana, bro.
Yeah, I don't care about the whole Indiana part. I just hate hearing that word you just said. But
which one?
Nothing. We'll continue. We're not going to repeat it. But
yeah, bro, yeah, right. You did that.
Like, I wasn't even born yet.
But there's facts. But like, what Joakim knows? Like,
what word do you think he was? What? I just want to pause it. What word do you think he was talking about? Because I think he was talking about the ACL tear.
That's what I thought too, right?
Yeah.
Like anything that had to do with injury. And then I was like, wait, did I miss something? I haven't replayed it.
Don't, and I get it. You don't want to jinx that and stuff like that. So you don't want to bring it up. So you can shut your mouth. So I'll play the rest of the clip, and then we'll go into the next one.
What's good about Indiana?
Wow, he said about Cleveland.
I will say that. Yeah, he did. We said about Cleveland, but I will say they do got a White Castle there. And I love White Castle. It's the only solid thing about Indiana. And
did he say White Castle was the only thing about Indiana?
Yeah, I do like a White Castle.
If not for those two things,
it's better than the Voodoo. And
yeah, Voodoo's touristy, but Longs, heat.
I gotta tell you right now. Hold on. Have you ever been to Voodoo Donuts?
Yes, I have.
And that's what he was talking about. Alex and I, our first vacation, we went to Denver. I went to Voodoo Donuts, bro. I was horrible for the rest of the night. I destroyed that hotel bathroom. It got to the point I never, and I, TMI, right? Sorry, guys. I never stayed.
We've had different experiences with Voodoo Donuts, bro. I'm just saying.
I never stayed at a hotel where I had the toilet clogged and I had to call up room service. I had to call up maintenance to unclog the toilet. I know. TMI,
Is this not the content you guys came for? Knowing that Hector shit his brains out after eating a dozen donuts.
I'm just saying. Listen, if you know, you know.
On the positive side of Voodoo Donuts, that maple bacon one that they have, oh my God, so good.
It tastes good. They're banging, right? The donuts are banging, but it just didn't come out.
How is this man gonna say White Castle? Like, yo, Josh, don't you know there's White Castle in the city, bro? There's White Castle in New York.
First of all,
for White Castle.
When you say, you see, on Dios NYK, I'm staying the fuck away from that donut shop. Absolutely.
No, but on Dios, are you staying away from it because you've tried it and you had that experience, or because Hector just scared the living shit, literally shit out of you? Okay.
No, when it comes to White Castle, right?
Thank you, Valentina.
The donuts, they are the shit.
Yeah.
But when it comes to White Castle, right, and we'll get into the basketball conversation. It's just funny right now. But when it comes to White Castle, you say in the city. In Manhattan, in the heart of, there is no White Castle. You got to go to the boroughs.
Yeah, you got to go
outside of it. The closest White Castle to the Garden is in Harlem. It's like 125th. If not, maybe in Brooklyn, the closest White Castle to Madison Square Garden. If you think about mileage and stuff like that, but no, 125th Street.
But I mean,
7th Street.
I mean, that's still closer than comparing it going to Indiana for White Castle.
True. All right,
it is definitely Hector. I definitely don't want that experience in my life calling the maintenance man at a hotel. Embarrassing. Yeah, you see, look, you scared this man from Voodoo. We're sorry. We officially will never have a Voodoo Donut sponsorship. Thanks to Hector.
I apologize. Shout out to Jay Boogie, who says, "Why do you think Larry Bird was smoking cigarettes on campus? There is nothing in Indiana." Absolutely, Jay Boogie. Salute to you. Salute. 3 capital S's to the dome, my guy Jay Boogie. Now let's get. We
all know they're murder burgers otherwise, but it doesn't stop us from doing it. Come on now, 2 a.m. Them things be hitting, boy.
Listen, I tell you right now, if you go out in the city, if you're out on the town, if you're drinking, if you want to wake up the next day and not have a hangover, make sure you go to bed with some White Castle in your system. Trust me, it will soak up all that alcohol. But anywho, let's get into the next conversation. I know we got some Julius Randle stuff to talk about, so bring that up. Let's talk about it with the fellas.
Let's do it. So obviously, for those of you that watch it, but Bagley came out, they were talking about it, but basically positive progression, optimistic at some point this season. Let people get excited. The people in the office feel good about it. They're optimistic, bro. My thing was the exciting news was hearing they don't think he's going to need surgery. That's huge.
That's a good thing.
He doesn't need surgery.
That's a good thing. I'm looking at it because they said a couple of weeks ago that Julius Randle will be evaluated within a couple of weeks, and we've gotten to that point. This is the week that he was reevaluated, and like you said, the front office is a bit optimistic. He doesn't have to get surgery, which is a good thing. Knock on wood. If Julius Randle was to get surgery, you could just mark him out for the rest of the season. I'm glad we was able to dodge that bullet. If I had to put a guesstimation on when he will be back, I honestly feel like from what Ian Begley put out there, how the team is feeling, I want to say the first week of March, bro. And I think that's a realistic time frame we can say when it comes to Julius Randle. If you want to be on the safe side, second week of March, but realistically, I would say the first week of March, and depending on how bad we have gone in that time frame when it comes to how many wins and losses we have, he could be back sooner rather than later. What's your thoughts?
I mean, I will be a little selfish here and be like, I'd be more than happy if he decided to come back February 26th. Okay, while we're in the building, I would love to see a healthy Drew. Love to see iHeart out there and Dante. The point is, man, yeah, we can sit here and speculate all we want. We don't like doing that. Everybody in the chat knows that. No need to speculate it. The good news is we know we're getting him back, right? So the fact that they're being cautious about it and smart about it. I mean, Tibbs said it in that presser, right? Yeah. He'll play with discomfort. They're not worried about that. If he's able to play, he's going to play. We all know that. Tibbs knows that. Julius knows that. But, you know, the fact that we do have no surgery, we are going to get him back. Dude, we've been talking about it for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. We need the reinforcements. And what better than going into March and saying, oh, shit, we got Julius back. Dante's okay. iHeart's there. OG's back. And then get closer to the playoffs and hope we get Mitch back, bro. Because what's up with the Mitch news? Like, you've got some that are real optimistic. Then you've got rando accounts out there saying, you know, they think the injury is going to last even longer. Like,
when it comes to Mitch, we'll get into that. You know, when it comes to Robinson, I just want to add a few more things onto Robinson. Sure. I mean, onto Randle before we switch topics onto Mitchell Robinson. When it comes to Julius Randle, maybe this is the moment Knicks fans realize how valuable Julius Randle actually is. Right, one of your best abilities is availability, and ever since Julius Randle signed with the New York Knicks, he's only missed a handful of games, minus the being out right now. But normally, since Julius Randle has been here, he's been healthy. He's been out there. He's been an Iron Man for us, constantly being out there. Now you take him out the lineup, and you see Jalen Brunson getting double teamed. You see Jalen Brunson, he's not as effective from the three-point line. Jalen Brunson this season is shooting 46% on catch and shoot threes, and 27% of those catch and shoot threes were assists by Julius Randle. So having Julius Randle not being out there is affecting the team, both on the offensive side and I think on the defensive side as well. Yes, Precious Achiuwa has stepped up and has been amazing filling in the absence of Julius Randle. But when you look at the boxing out, you know, when you look at the center position, Isaiah Hartenstein was averaging more rebounds with Julius Randle in that starting lineup because of the box out that he was doing. So let's just take a step back. Let's just appreciate Julius Randle for what it is. And I don't like to repeat this because a lot of people have been saying this on the timeline, but for all you Randle haters that's been saying you want to get rid of Julius Randle, look at what the team is without him. You know, it's easy to say it right now, especially when we don't have a proper replacement and we have Precious Achiuwa playing the power forward. And credit to Precious Achiuwa, but he's not a starting power forward in the NBA for an 82-game season.
Yeah. Well, I'll pull these up real quick. John Pettit in the building. What up, John? He said, with Precious playing like he is, Randle can make sure you're good to go. I think OG coming back before him. I would agree with that. You know, Knicks will be 2024, 26 NBA champs. A healthy Knicks team will beat every Eastern Conference team in a best of 7. Yeah. It's hard to argue that Knicks will be 2026. I'm telling you, it's hard to argue that. Precious, Mario even said it. Precious has been very good. I mean, what did he put up the other night, bro? Like, Precious been holding down.
Another double digits like and rebounds and stuff like that. Yeah. Precious on the offensive boards as well. Precious Achiuwa has been solid. He's going to be an amazing backup power forward when Julius Randle comes back. But when you look at the potential of getting to the Eastern Conference Finals, right? Shout out to Nick P. Our offense is built around Randle and Brunson. The attention they draw for each other gives everyone better looks. Absolutely. When you look at potential matchups, right? Let's just look at the Boston Celtics. And this is a perfect way to segue into Mitchell Robinson because Tom Thibodeau came out and said, Mitchell Robinson, you guys heard the report, will start basketball or will continue basketball activities after the All-Star break. So after this weekend, we can see Mitchell Robinson on the court with the team, maybe in practice, doing a little light practice work, getting his legs underneath him. He could be back. He'll probably be back after Julius Randle, I would say, or around the same time. But one thing we say, we're going to get back Julius Randle, Mitchell Robinson, and OG all around the same time. And that's like making a middle season trade at the trade deadline, but going into the month of March, getting ready for the postseason.
I mean, literally, bro. I know we talked about this the other day, but when we do get everybody healthy, you're literally talking JB, Dante, OG, Randle, iHeart. Yeah. Deuce with some minutes if he gets them, right? Burks, Hart, Bojan, Precious, and Mitch. Mm-hmm. On paper, just looking at that, again, we can run through any team. Mm-hmm. So again, we talked about the other day. It's good that the injury stuff is happening now. We're getting good reports on the lack of surgery, the fact that OG did do the surgery and kept quiet during the trade deadline, and now they're feeling good about it. I saw 2 tweets. One that says that they agree with you. They see the timeline being that first week of March where we get that good report that we can sit here and say, oh, crap, we have everybody back but Mitch. That's a good time to get everybody, bro. The stretch would be huge.
Because also, when you look at it, in the month of January, we saw what this team could be, right? In the month of January when everybody is healthy. In the month of January, the New York Knicks defensively were number 1 in the NBA with a defensive rating, keeping teams under 104.4 points per game. That was the New York Knicks in the month of January with OG, with everyone healthy except for Mitchell Robinson. So just imagine what it is with Mitchell Robinson in the rotation. Without OG, without Julius Randle, without Hartenstein, right? In the month of February, the New York Knicks are 25th in the NBA in defensive rating. We are giving up 121.4 points per game. Our team is not built to score 120 points per game. That's not our team. Our team, especially under Tom Thibodeau, is built around defense and suffocating your opponent and hitting them in the gut and making them crawl into that fourth quarter. Right now, in the month of February, without our guys, we are a bottom barrel team. But we saw what the team could be when the guys are healthy.
Yeah, I mean, again, I've said it before, Heck. I feel like the biggest part about the injuries is forced us to look at other people, and it's forced people to step up, right? I mean, the moves with Dante. Look at what Dante is. Now we know that Dante is Dante. Precious.
Solid.
If we didn't have the injuries after those first 2-3 games with Precious, the fan base probably would have stuck with he's trash. What are we doing? He was just a throw-in on the trade, right? But the injuries forced us to have to rely on Precious and let him come into his own. So again, I mean, I agree with everybody in the chat. If we have enough time in March, April with the chemistry for this team to start gelling, we're going to be a problem. We're going to be a really big problem. Yes, Knicks are nice. The Chenzo gang is in the building.
Absolutely.
Real quick.
Chenzo gang.
Oh, man.
Hold on 1 second.
Hold on. This man stunts me every time.
CT Pittman, my guy. CT Pittman, my guy. CT Pittman with the 99.99 super chat. Let me kick off these donations for the Morning Brew crew. CT Pittman, we definitely appreciate you, my guy. This is what we're going to start doing. When it comes to fellas in the chat or folks in the chat that helps us, especially like CT Pittman, we got to have a Hall of Fame board.
I'm telling you.
So at the end of the show,
graphic just for him.
When we end the shows, before we go into the thank you and everything like that, we have to give a special thank you to the people that support the channel.
Oh, you know what we do? We'll do retiring jersey numbers. CT Pittman, you're the first one. What is your favorite number? We're gonna bring this to life because of you, bro. Like
CT Pittman, give us your jersey number so we can make you a Morning Brew jersey so we can put it in the Raptors. Appreciate you, CT Pittman, for supporting us. I'm gonna just leave that comment up there.
Before that came in, I was literally just saying, hold on, let me take a quick pause because we just got a message from our guy that we're doing the tickets with for the Knicks event. Guys, he just opened up 5 more tickets for us to utilize.
Bingo.
We already got 15 strong. If there's another 5 that want to go with us, February 26th, Knicks versus Pistons. We're all going to go there awaiting to see if we get a Quentin Grimes tribute video. Nope, Fournier video. But seriously, tickets are $160. We were able to get them down to $120. That's with tax and everything. So if there's 5 more people that are interested, let us know here in the comments. we'll get you set up so you can rock out with us that weekend as well.
CT Pittman, appreciate you. He said
Starks
number.
Let's
Got
go.
you.
Number 3 in the Raptors.
CT Pittman, number 3 in the Raptors. And like Savage NYC says, guys, if you could smack and smash that like button, we have over 80 people in the building. We're sitting on 33 likes. So if you guys can run the likes up for your boys, and we're still at 3,514 subscribers on our way to 4K. But now, as we can segue, I still want to put up CT Pittman's chat. I want to leave it up there for a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna leave it up there. When you look at the playoffs and potential matchups, let's talk about the Boston Celtics real quick, right?
Okay.
Let's talk about the Celtics. The Celtics, obviously, number 1 seed in the East, the favorite to come out of the Eastern Conference. People are saying this should be one of the teams that are in the finals. Copy. I get that. But when you look at our matchup, and as great as Mitchell Robinson has been for us, as amazing as he has been, honestly, when you look at the matchup against Kristaps Porzingis and the Boston Celtics, I think the better matchup would be to have Hartenstein starting and having Mitchell Robinson coming off the bench, because we've seen Robinson try to match up with Kristaps Porzingis, and it hasn't been good. Robinson doesn't do good when they pull him out of the paint. So I would rather have Hartenstein in that starting lineup to go one-on-one with KP. What's your thoughts on that, folks? As well, let us know about the matchup against the Boston Celtics. Who do you think should be the starter? And like JJ said, Mitch can't play against Boston.
Yeah, I mean, not to take anything away from Mitch, right? Before the injury, I mean, this man was literally having like the breakout year, right? He was having the early conversations, defensive player of the year. Like, no question, Mitch Robinson is a stud. But with what we've seen from Isaiah Hartenstein, I agree with you, bro. iHeart would be a better fit in that. But it goes back to that conversation. We've asked the chat before, and I'd love for them to answer again. Not just the playoffs. When Mitch comes back, do we still think it's better to have iHeart in that starting unit and Mitch move into that second unit role? I still, as of what we've seen so far, I think we're better suited with iHeart in the starting 5, Mitch coming with that second unit, bro.
Yeah.
And Boston or not, I still feel like that's probably the better move.
And like CT Pittman said, theoretically, with Mitch coming off an injury, he should come off of the bench until he's back in game shape. Absolutely, no matter what. Yeah, coming back off an injury, right? You want him to ease back into things. But I'm just saying, hypothetically, if we were to match up against the Boston Celtics in the Eastern Conference Finals, yes, Mitch is coming back off an injury, but I would still want iHeart. Even if Mitch is 100% ready to go to be in that starting lineup, I would still want iHeart to be in there for that matchup against KP. I think he is the better matchup. And shout out to everybody that's in the building. I see we got CP the artist in the building. JJ is still rocking out with us. Corey Lee is in the building. You want to start the open panel a bit early?
I am, because you know what? It's not even, I know it seems early, but you know what, guys? It's Friday. We didn't have a game last night. And these are conversations I want to have with people in the chat. So if you want to come up and talk one at a time, just come up. But I would love to hear your opinions on the Mitch iHeart. What are you doing there? And I know it's easy for us to sit here and say we're not scared of anybody. But I think there needs to be a little conversation when it comes to those Cavaliers, bro. And I know we handled them, no problem, but what are they on, a 16-1 run over the last 17?
Yeah, the Cleveland Cavaliers have been playing out of this world, right? And shout out to, Donovan Mitchell. In the absence of damn near half that team, he's put the Cleveland Cavaliers on his back, and he's the sole reason why the Cavaliers are second in the Eastern Conference. But at the same time, when you take a deep dive into their schedule over the past 16 to 20 games, they've had a really light schedule. Some may argue the easiest schedule in that stretch, but at the same time, you're supposed to beat the opponents that are in front of you. Because if the New York Knicks had that same schedule and was running through teams the same way the Cleveland Cavaliers were running through teams, I would not want people to use that excuse about our schedule. Yes, it's reality, right? The schedule was a lot easier, but at the same time, they still showed up, they still tied their laces, and they still balled out there on the court. So you still have to give them some credit.
Yeah.
No, CP, we haven't talked about the Mellow Joe Budden pod. We'll talk about it towards the end. We'll definitely bring up some clips for that, because
we don't even have to bring up the clip, just the main highlight of what he said. It's like, okay, talk about crazy speculation. Real quick, I wanted to pull it up because I saw Brandon. I love that comment from Brandon. What up, Brandon? What up, B?
Shut up,
bro. Julius and iHeart getting a breather, and the other team sees Bojan and Mitch Rob subbing in. Like, that's just not fun. Like,
it's not fair.
Damn.
You think if you think about it, that's not fair. You have Mitchell Robinson and Bojan who could be starters on about 15 teams in the NBA coming off the bench as a second unit to go up against in the playoffs.
All eyes. Mitch probably should come off the bench, but Mitch and OG is scary. OG. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be mad to see that together. You know, I still think we'd probably be better with them not together. But Knicks are nice. Knicks need a backup point guard.
I agree, especially with the play we've seen out of Alex Burke.
And Deuce.
Well, more Burks than anything, because Deuce, I can live through the growing pains for Deuce because he's a young kid, right? He just became a full-time backup this season, right? Maybe he needs some more seasoning. You may not want to trust him in the postseason. That's why they went out there and probably got Alex Burks. But when you look at it, I can live through the growing pains of Deuce McBride because he's a young kid. My guy Alec Burke is in his 30s, and he's chucking up these shots. His shot selection is horrible. The turnovers are horrible. Are you even paying attention to who you're passing the ball to? Jerry brought up the inbound plays on the last show, and it's like, how many times are you going to turn the ball over, Alec? I think I've seen more turnovers from Alec Burke over his since coming back to the Knicks than his first tenure with the New York Knicks, honestly.
Well, but do you feel that's because he's being forced into that point guard role? Like, didn't we discuss this? If Alex Burks was coming, it wasn't that we wanted to see him as a point guard. We just wanted to see him as a shooting guard. But yet here we are again seeing him with the ball in his hand.
Honestly, I'd rather Josh Hart running the offense than Alex Burke running the offense. At least Josh Hart knows those players. You know, he's going to put his head down and try to run anyone over. Shout out to everybody that's in the building. We have over 115 of you loyal Knicks fans in the building. If you guys can, smack the like button, hit the subscribe button. We got over 100 people rocking with us on YouTube right now. My guy CT Pittman said the different lineups we can throw at teams is scary. Absolutely. And, you know, I know someone in the chat just said, imagine Mitchell Robinson and OG Anunoby. But if you guys know Tom Thibodeau and the way he likes to use the lineup, and if you guys remember, OG was running out there with that second unit. So we would see hypothetically OG and Mitchell Robinson share the court for at least 5 to 10 minutes at a time during a game, even if it's with the second unit, OG playing with that second unit.
I like Mario said in the chat, Dante can be the backup point guard.
I'd rather that than Burks right now, honestly. 100%. And this is not me trying to shit on Alec Burks, right? But his just basketball decisions have been horrible. Granted, this team is missing everybody with a walking dead out there. So he's just trying to make whatever he can make happen on offense. But horrible decision making when it comes to what he has done over his first few games back with the Knicks.
Let me pull this up. Jonathan said there's 38 likes. Come on, we got 100 plus. We got 100. Building. Run the likes up for your boy. Smash and smash. Just hit it. Just hit it.
Mm-hmm. I'll look up.
Muted that whole time?
No, you weren't. I'll look up the clip for the Carmelo Anthony Joe Budden.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if you want to find the clip,
I'm gonna save it for later. Yeah, I'm gonna save it for later.
I see we've got people starting to come back in. Let me drop that open panel link one more time for everybody. Oops, wrong one.
I think we got Corey Lee.
Yeah, let me swap out with him and bring him up. Actually, Corey Lee, you ready? I think we could just pull him up right here, bro. Oh, camera went off. Let us know when you're ready, my guy. He said yes. Bam, what up, Corey Lee?
Corey Lee, my guy. What it do?
Excuse me, I might have to be too long, man, but listen, man. I'm gonna tell you right now, Tibbs is gonna do what Tibbs is gonna do as far as when it comes to the starting lineup. I don't think this is going to start immediately in the beginning, but he will eventually be in the starting lineup because he is the anchor of his defense. If anybody can start playing on our team, like we saw, as far as the tip guy, it's Mitchell Robinson. So, you know what I'm saying? It's going to be some of the gradual change. You know what I'm saying? Slowly but for slowly. Mitch is going to end up being the starter. You know what I'm saying, fellas? And it's not to say anything against anybody's opinion. You know what I'm saying? People see what they see. You know what I'm saying? And they may not agree or disagree, but it's the coach. It's the coach's decision at the end of the day. So we're going to have to live with it. You know what I'm saying? In spite of what we believe.
Yeah, you know, and Corey, that's a valid point, OG. And appreciate you always. But when you look at the track record, right, and I think this is what Corey Lee is talking about, right? When you look at the track record, and Corey Lee, appreciate you again. We'll have the link up in the chat if you want to come up later on during the show. But when you look at the track record of Tom Thibodeau, he played Nerlens Noel out there because he was a better rim protector at times, right? So Nerlens Noel, if you look at what Tom Thibodeau likes to do when it comes to structuring his defense, he likes to have a center that is best at rim protection, right? And that's how Tom Thibodeau sets up his defense. And Mitchell Robinson, to Corey Lee's point, is the better option as a rim protector. But when you look at the matchup against the Boston Celtics, I'm not Tom Thibodeau. I'm not in that room with him. I don't see defensive schemes. But when you look at the matchup against the Boston Celtics, Hartenstein would be the better matchup to go against KP in my eyes.
I want to bring this up because I saw VR in the building. What up, VR? Appreciate you. And he said, and this has obviously been on the timeline the last 2 days. And what's your thoughts, bro? 29-year-old big man is available, and the rumors are Knicks, obviously. Not a big surprise to us, but Knicks interested in Nerlens Noel.
He's still alive? He's still like, no offense, right? You know, but it's like Nerlens Noel, he's been injury prone and, you know, been disappearing. Again, okay, you just left me. No, but when it comes to Nerlens Noel, he's a body, former Knick as well. He thrived under Tom Thibodeau. He was our starting center in the postseason against the Atlanta Hawks. If we just need a body just to hold this down until Mitch comes back, why not? If we have to, we're gonna have to use this mid-level exception for somebody, right? When it comes to the vet minimum, so why not use it on something that we need when it comes to a backup center? And Nerlens Noel, like I said, he knows Tom Thibodeau. He's been a part of this team. He knows the culture that they already have established over here with the New York Knicks. Why not? He's just a body that's just going to take up minutes until our guys get back. And just like CT Pittman, I'm getting PTSD from the last time Nerlens Noel was a Knick. Absolutely,
I'm right there with you, CT. You know, but it's funny because I see people commenting it on Twitter and stuff, and it's not even our fan base. We're all like, well, yeah, that makes sense. I mean, we expect
it does make sense.
It's like, yeah, it does, you know. Smash the like, subscribe, and share. Listen to Savage NYC. I saw a couple other people jump in the building real quick, bro. Hidalgo Soul, how you doing? Appreciate you joining us. David Knight is in the building. Appreciate you. Johnny Jimenez.
Run the
CB
lights
said,
up.
I don't know. Precious is playing great. Like Buck Williams, great.
He is playing great, right? And like we said on the last shows, CP, when the Knicks, when we made that trade initially for OG Anunoby and we got Precious Achiuwa and Malachi Flynn, how many Raptor fans that were in our chat saying Precious sucked, have fun with Precious? Well, guess what? I'm having all the fun in the world with Precious Achiuwa because he's stepping up and his defense, you know, a backup power forward is what we were missing at the beginning of the season. Not only did we get a backup power forward, but we got a backup power forward who's been amazing defensively. I cannot wait, and just makes you just water in the mouth. The idea of getting this squad healthy and what we could actually be down the stretch.
I put VR's comment, Noel or Taj. Listen, we watched the end of Taj. All right, we all love Taj. The knees aren't there. And I'm sorry, this bird, because of the internet situation, I'm at a different location.
No, it's fine.
Oh my God, this bird, like, I look over there, I just want to shut this bird up. Are you done with Taj, Heck?
No, when it comes to Taj Gibson, right? And shout out to Knicks OmniFan ladies. They sent us a link. I'm going to send my video. Taj Gibson's family, they're doing a special event for him. So they want like Knicks fans to send the video on like how they feel with Taj and what he means to the team. When it comes to Taj, that right there I may signal that his 10-day contract will not get renewed from the New York Knicks. If your family, you know, if they're putting together a ceremony like that, that makes me think that. I'm not sure. I'm not in the front office, but we'll probably get the same out of both because Nerlens Noel, he's injured, right? At least Taj Gibson, he could be out there, right? Because if we do get Nerlens Noel, we could get Nerlens Noel, and then he could get injured and disappear for like 2 weeks, and we back to square one. So maybe, I don't know.
Andios said Tweety Bird all on the Knicks. Yo, this bird does not shut up, Andios. Like, it's killing. I keep muting the mic. So just know you're not hearing all of them. All right.
We need to get a mascot for that bird. That bird needs to be the mascot for the Knicks Morning Brew. And we got over 100 people in the building, and we are sitting at 52 likes. Folks, please smack the like button. Let's run it up to 100. And we are at 3,515 subscribers. Appreciate the new subscribers. Help us out. We got someone else backstage. So get ready to bring up my guy Double A. Double A, let me get a thumbs up, big fella. Let's get
Double A is in the
building.
What up, bro?
How are you feeling, hermano? Todo bien. Estamos aquí, tranquilo, activo.
Yo, I know. I'm a big Mitchell Robinson fan, right? But if you look at it, the advantage of having Isaiah in the starting lineup, it's like night and day, bro. It's just like his passing ability, his hands. He has great hands underneath. And he's that extra element. And if you look at it, when we had Mitch in the starting five, people would double off Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
They would leave him unless he was down low and alley-oop territory. They would double off him. You can't do that with Isaiah. You can't double off of Isaiah. He's got that little move. And, unfortunately, Mitch, all he has is a slam dunk. If he had a couple of more go-to moves, then it'd be hard. But I think it is in a world. It's a world where we can pretty much use them both, equally and effectively. I don't want to get rid of either one of them. You know what I'm saying? I don't want to choice Mitch or Isaiah, but in the long run, I'm with Celso, man. It just looks too good with Isaiah. It just looks smooth. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But I know a lot of people are Mitch Robinson fans, and they don't like him losing it. But hey, bro, we about New York first.
Yeah, it comes down to what's better for the team, right? And I think realistically, especially for the rest of this season, while Mitchell Robinson is coming back off of his injury that he had surgery. He had a metal put in his foot. So coming back off of his surgery, he should be able to come off of the bench and not rush things. You don't want to rush things, aggregate the foot, and then he has to be out for the rest of the season, or knock on wood, he has to get another surgery, right? So you don't want that to happen. But when you look at the matchup for the rest of the season, for everything that you just said, Double A, the fact that teams double off of Mitchell Robinson, like you said, but with Hartenstein, you can't do that because at least you have to respect him because he has a little bit of a mid-range game, right? He has that little bit of a floater where he could just throw it up over there. So you still have to put a body on him because that's the easy two points for Hartenstein, like you said. So what was your thoughts on that?
No, listen, he said, am I coming in? He said, I agree with Celso. So therefore, I love Double A's take. 100% best take Double A has ever had on this panel. I'm also cracking up because everybody in the chat is telling me to throw the bird in the bathroom. You got people offering me to cook the bird with Jamaican seasoning. So I apologize for the bird. But I'm right there with you, Double A. Can't argue it at all.
My only fear is this, fellas, and it's been my fear from the beginning of the season. And if you look at the injuries we had, a lot of them are caused by fatigue. They're fatigue injuries.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. When people try to jump with tired legs, you pull hamstring, you twist ankles. All right. And then you look at it, come on. Somebody, Pito was on with you guys last week, and I was having on Monday, and I was having a fit, bro, because, I understand towing a company line, but you're saying tips changed? Really? Did you see that Isaiah Brunson came back from when we didn't think he was going to play, and all of a sudden surprise play, and hey, lo and behold, he plays 40 minutes. Isaiah comes back from the Achilles thing, and he plays 40 minutes. That's not like protecting your players, man. At least if your player is going to, what can I say? When they hold it up and just play, you know what I'm saying? Despite an injury or whatever, you chalk it up and play. You should at least have a little bit of concern for their overall health. Sometimes W's are not worth it, man. If you lose Jalen Brunson to save losing one game, it's not worth losing Jalen Brunson for the season or for an extended period of time, right? So my one question, you guys, is what is our lineup? What is our rotation going to look like when we're at full capacity? Because we got issues here, bro. Somebody's not going to play. And Precious deserves to play.
You know what, guys? Real quick, I just saw Stephen Bondi just tweeted, Hartenstein, DiVincenzo, and Bogdanovic are expected to return right after the All-Star break per Tibbs. He said unknown for Julius, OG, and Mitchell Robinson, but he is expecting Julius to come back before OG and Mitch.
Okay, so that's good.
Okay,
so that's good. So when you look at, the trade deadline was last week. OG Anunoby got that surgery. They said 3 weeks for OG before he comes back. That puts him at the beginning of that first week of March. So if Julius Randle is expected to come back before OG Anunoby, it could be at the end of this month of February or that first week of March.
26.
We're full
selfishly
full
26. But even if we get those 3 guys back, right? Hartenstein, Dante, and Bojan, that right there can help us ride the ship until the rest of the guys come back. You brought up a perfect point, AA, a brilliant point talking about the injuries that are fatigue injuries. Hartenstein, when he first went out, it was for an ankle. He twisted his ankle, sat out a game or so. Then he came so in that bird. Then he came back. And then the Achilles, right? When you look at it, Hartenstein, I've been pointing this out. This is the first year that Hartenstein has actually been a starting center for this stretch period of time, right? Logging this amount of minutes on his body. So fatigue could be a factor, AA, like you said, right? But hopefully, knock on wood, he comes back, right? I was so happy that he rested and didn't try to play this last game. Yeah, I know we lost it. We don't like to lose 4 in a row, but I'm happy Hartenstein rested, Dante rested, take a week off, come back from the All-Star break a lot rested, hold it down until the rest of the fellas come back. Now, your second question, go ahead, So I'll let you go, and I'll save my take for after you go.
Well, I was going to say, the only opposite side of that, AA, for me is I think last year we were really able to harp on he goes crazy with the minutes, right? I feel like a lot of it this season is also by no choice, right? Guys having to play because of the amount of injuries. I also think we'll see a change in Tibbs because of the fact that we do officially have a whole group of people that Tibbs will play, right? There's guys that he trusts that he'll put in there because of their game style. So I think we'll see less of this crazy minute stuff. But at the end of the day, even people in the chat are calling it out, right? We see guys like Jalen Brunson saying he doesn't want to throw games away, right? You've got guys that want to play no matter what. I think we're so quick as fans to sit there and say, you're playing them too much. What are you doing? But we forget that these guys like, I busted my ass to get here. I want to be in every game. And when you got a guy like Tibbs, you can expect to play a bunch of minutes and every single one of them jokes about it, right? I mean, on the roommates pod, they joke about the minutes. Every player's like, oh shit, my knees better be ready. So I don't know. I think this season, it's a little far-fetched on the minutes conversation.
Yeah.
But it comes down to him ultimately, Celso. Ultimately, he's the one that puts you in and takes you out. And he should control his players. He should protect his players and say, hey, we got tomorrow, bro. We got tomorrow. And I don't agree with what he was saying. We're down 17 or 18 to 20 points, and there's only 3 minutes left in the game. Pull your starters. If you can't pull your starters and trust your crew to hold a 20-point lead, we don't belong. We don't belong. We're calling ourselves contenders.
Paris Duncan gives us a $3 super chat in support of AA. He said, thank you, AA, for saying that. Tibbs killing us. Well, I guess I should thank AA for saying it too. It got us $3. Hey, yeah.
No, and I get it. And much respect. And when it comes to those criticisms from Tom Thibodeau, those criticisms are always going to be there, especially if a player gets hurt, like we've seen with Julius Randle, like we've seen with Isaiah Hartenstein, like we've seen with Dante, especially most recently. So those criticisms are always going to be there because you've seen them pop up for Tom Thibodeau in the worst case scenarios, right? Derrick Rose, injury that altered his career, right? So those are the worst case scenarios, and those are the worst times for those injuries to pop up when your team is up double digits with a few minutes left to go. And Tom Thibodeau is not the only head coach that is guilty of that. It's just he just trusts the starting unit, right? And us Knicks fans, we've been calling it out. Our bench unit has been trash before this trade with Bojan and Burks. Our bench unit has been trash. So Tom Thibodeau, he wants to make sure he wins that game, and having the starters out there, I know, up 17 with 3 minutes left to go. As a fan, you may not want that to happen, but what happens if Tom Thibodeau takes his starters out, and in those 3 minutes, the other team goes on a 15-0 run and cuts the lead to 2 points? Are we going to still bitch and complain about Tom Thibodeau pulling his starters, or we're going to say, oh, you see, Tom Thibodeau's a horrible coach because when the other team was coming back, you should have put your starters in to cut them down? So it's like a 50-50 thing when it comes down to it.
Yeah, but if you up 20 with 3 minutes left, heck, come on. If your squad, your bench gives it up, you need a new bench, right?
But we've been saying that our bench is trash, though, right or wrong?
No, I'm saying before, but I'm talking about now.
Yeah. And we haven't seen it. We haven't seen it now. Maybe now, if the same thing was to happen, yeah, we could criticize him as warranted. But we haven't seen it yet, right? And shout out to Ebony in the chat.
Ebony's in the building throwing the I Miss Grimes out there. Oh, Ebony, we got to talk about this. Come up, Ebony. Come up.
Heck, what you say we haven't seen this year?
We haven't seen after the trade, right? Since that trade happened, we haven't seen our whole squad be healthy and the Knicks up by double digits with 3 minutes left to go in time, if he would sub out his starters or not. So we haven't seen that yet after the trade. But before the trade, pre-trade, he didn't trust the bench.
Hold on, real quick, guys. Backstage, we'll bring you guys up here in a second. I see we got more people keep jumping in. Johnny, Joe, I see you guys back there. Hang tight. We'll bring you
guys up in a sec.
Okay, my last point. Okay, what I'm saying, to clarify, I'm not saying if a guy coming back off an injury wants to play, yeah, he should play, right? But you have to use cabeza, okay? If a person's coming off of a foot injury, you can't play him 40 minutes because you're going to re-aggravate it. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. Be smart about it. Yeah, I know we got to use the assets that we got, but I'm saying be smart about it.
Yeah, I get it, and also too, it's a roster issue because at that same time, that game that Isaiah Hartenstein did come back, that's the same. It was one of those games that Jericho Sims couldn't play because of an illness. So who are we going to have as our center? Taj Gibson for the whole game?
Precious had been our backup center before, we got there. Precious was the backup center.
Yeah, no, but the thing is, we're missing so many people. Precious is already our starting power forward.
Right.
So we can't have Precious playing power forward and center. So yeah, you don't want to see Hartenstein play 40 minutes coming back off of an injury. But the only reason he did was because a lack of necessity, because they didn't have anyone to play behind Hartenstein because Sims was out. And I don't think we're going to trust Taj Gibson to log more than 20 minutes in a game.
Right. I see your point, Hector.
It was only out of necessity. Now, if we have Mitchell Robinson healthy, Jericho Sims healthy, and he plays Hartenstein coming back off an ankle injury, yeah, that's a bozo move. You got other guys that should be playing those minutes instead of Hartenstein coming back off an injury for 40 minutes. I do see what you're saying, Double A. You got to be able to protect your players, but in a necessity moment, you got to play the player because you don't got nobody else to play. You can't play my small ass as a center. I'm barely 6 feet. I'm 6 feet on my driver's license, not in real life. I just nice.
But you can move Precious to center and then do what you've been doing anyway before the trade, playing hard at power forward. You've been doing that before the trade. So why can't you do that for one game? He had been doing that.
Oh, because Hartenstein is the better option as a center than Precious.
No. You were saying
talking about Josh Hart?
If he moves Precious to center, we ain't got no power forward. And I said he'd been playing Josh Hart as backup power forward. Why can't you play him at power forward for one game?
Because Josh Hart's our starting shooter, our starting small forward with OG out. Because that's how many people we have out. Josh Hart's our starting small forward.
Double A just said, "Oh shit, injury."
Then you play Toppin, who should have been getting some light because you see what the boy did the other day, right? You can play Toppin at small forward. We got players.
Not as a starting small forward. Double A. Toppin can't be a starting small forward.
I do that rather than risk re-injuring Hartenstein.
Okay.
Nick's Prophet said, "Don't worry, Noah will be there to play center. He got it. It's covered.
Don't worry. Let's do
Double
it.
A.
Oh my God.
We love you, bro. Hey, we got to hit you up next week because we're finalizing
next
the
week.
details
What
for
day
Tampa.
are you guys coming down?
It looks like most likely like March 5th through the 13th. We'll be out there.
Okay, cool. I'll make sure, bro.
Yeah, and Eddie's meeting up with us. We'll hook up as soon as we get out there.
Yeah. All right, fellas.
All right, Double A. Appreciate you.
All right, Double A. We got 2 more people backstage we want to bring up first. Let's see who won.
Before you do, real quick, let's I saw we got a lot of people that jumped in. Kevin Guevara's in the building. How you doing? Our boy 19 Comment is in the building. Nick's Prophet Curry is in the building.
Appreciate you guys.
Bro?
Listen,
Big Nick,
we got over
Energy.
115. We got 100. I know, and Joe's wearing his jet hat. I'm not going to name that, but even though Joe's wearing his jet hat, he's my guy. He's my guy still. But we got 115 people still in the building rocking with us. If you're watching us on Instagram, Facebook, on X, click the link in the bio. Jump on over to YouTube. We are rocking over here. We are sitting at 65 likes on the video. So if you guys can, smack the like button, run it up, hit the subscribe button. We are at 3,517 subscribers. Run it up, hit the subscribe button. Paris Duggar with the $3 super chat. Take the loss anyway.
You hit your mic. All right, Johnny.
Hey, what's up, guys? Can y'all hear me?
What's up? Yeah, we can hear you. You're illegal ass driving and FaceTiming, but you know what? You called the open panel, so we'll accept it. What up, bro?
I'm chilling, man. Hey, I gotta admit, a lot of the stuff that Double A was saying, I agree with them, right? But at the same time, I mean, the game is a rhythm game, right? And if you got players like Brunson that does not want to come out, and he said it multiple times. If anything, I blame that podcast that they've done, and it's the reason for our streak as of right now, right? But I mean,
so you're blaming the roommates pod? That's what that's the issue.
I blame that for everything, right? But
we haven't won a game since they debuted, Johnny. So you're right.
Yeah. So, but I mean,
but they have brought me laughter during this time of pain, guys.
A lot of laughter.
It's 4 games that we've lost, and then now. It's the stuff that I think me and Porto have talked in the past before. Is about the fan base, right? It's so toxic, man. One moment we're like, let's give everybody roses no matter what, and then boom, we have this streak, and we're just like, this team sucks. Get rid of this guy. Get rid of that guy. You know, what are we doing? But we're injury riddled right now at the current moment. So, what should we do? Like, right? What can we do to make it better? You don't think these guys that are getting paid how much money is trying everything? Even the Bird agrees with me at the current time. So, you know, I mean, I just think that we need to just, you know, chill, relax. The All-Star break couldn't have come at a better time, right? I think once we're at full force and Voltron is built again, we're going to be fine, man. And we're going to make that push into the playoffs and go and have a deep run and all that. I still see us doing what we said. I mean, like I said, again, from the very beginning of the season, I was an individual that was like, I watched the games, but I didn't watch the games, and I didn't want to get pissed off. And this season, I'm all invested again because of what they've done, the moves that they've done. Because in the past, we would have never had players that, want to come over here first and foremost, because it's the truth. People would be like, let me go to Brooklyn, and which is nuts to me because the only real team in New York are the Knicks, right? So I just feel like, you know, hey, we're going to be all right. I mean, if you got a player, I want my player to be like, no, I'm not coming out. They're not going to go ahead and we're up by 15 and it could change that quickly and then we lose the game, you know? Mm-hmm. And I get it. I get what Double A was saying in the sense of protecting the player from himself and stuff like that. But, I mean, we've been trashed for so long, right, that they're trying to change that entire culture and just cultivate something that we could be as a winning franchise and continue to keep growing that, not only this year, but into next year and into the following years to come from that. So that's my take on this, man. You guys are awesome as always. I got to head into the damn office today, which sucks.
Yeah, well, stop being illegal and drive with the FaceTime, bro. We love you, Johnny.
You be good, Johnny. You be safe. And is that a Tesla you're driving? I just want to know because I
have a Ram Rebel. So it's
okay. Nice car. I just saw the roof. Yeah, I just got.
Man, if you don't got a truck, you ain't doing it right.
Appreciate
Johnny,
you,
we love
Johnny.
you, bro. We'll talk to you soon.
Deuce.
I like it's funny, Heck.
I like to violate people's personal space. So I saw him in the car. I just want to know what car it is.
Is that a Tesla you driving? Huh? Are you energy efficient? Huh? He was like, no, look, we got Joe Big Nick Energy in the
Yo.
What up? What up?
No,
Chilling, baby.
I love the hat, man. I love the Scully. How you doing?
Jigga, I thought you would, man.
Hector,
I mean, I'm sorry. Like,
listen,
I had a 50-50 shot, you know? I chose the
listen.
They never win.
Joe, you're lucky I'm a fan of your work, right? Because if I wasn't, I would have definitely blocked you and kicked you out of StreamYard. I definitely would have. But this is my guy, Joe, from Big Nick Energy. If you guys aren't following Joe, they do amazing work over there, especially Mill Media when it comes to the Knicks post game. So make sure you guys go over there, support and subscribe to that channel because they are growing at the moment. Joe, how are you feeling? Maybe you can help us out with social media because that's the one thing we're struggling with, Instagram, and you guys are killing it on Instagram as well. But how are you feeling, my guy?
You make memes, dude? It's all memes, man. That's Vin just crushes that. He's like, is there a Homer Simpson? Is he crying? Throw a BK logo on it and then add a tag, and there you go. It's all
right. Nailed
dude,
it.
mostly Instagram is like all under 25. So how do you appeal to young people? You make them laugh and then they follow you. It has nothing to do with the game whatsoever.
Thank you again for making me feel a little bit older, saying that it's for people under 25 and my 34-year-old ass can't figure it out.
Yo, I've been seeing the Nerlens Noel thing, man, and every time
go ahead, speak on it.
Every time I hear the name Nerlens Noel, I'm like, damn, is this dude gonna make me hate Christmas? Am I just gonna sing Noel with tears down my eyes? Like, what is about to happen? And then I'm like, wait, we're giving Taj Gibson 7. You know what? Just bring him in. It can't be that bad. Taj Gibson, dude, this dude's closer to a wheelchair than he is to his prime. Like, what are we doing out there? Can't handle this anymore. And I love Taj. We all love Taj.
No, I love Taj. You know, people in the chat know, you know, I'm friends with his brother. And when it was announced that he came back for his second time, that second 10-day he got, I literally text his brother Aja, and I was like, I just want you to know, I pray every time for Taj Gibson's tendons and cartilage in his knees when he has to play for Tom Thibodeau. So just know that. Make sure he hears that. But no, I'm with you, Joe. Nerlens Noel, he's still in his 20s, which is crazy. He to me, Nerlens Noel, it's Father Time himself. But Nerlens Noel, even though he's just a body and he's great defensively, the injury factor. It'll be our luck. We signed Nerlens Noel for the rest of the season. He plays 5 minutes and he's out for the rest of the way, right? At least you know with Taj Gibson, he may not be as good as Nerlens Noel is right now when it comes to their ability defensively, but at least Taj Gibson, he's going to give you effort and he's going to be available, and your best ability is availability.
Bro, him leaving the game with the back pain twice, I'm like, that is the oldest man injury I've ever seen in the NBA in my life.
But you know what? I said on the last episode, Joe, is as a fan base, though, we can all appreciate what Taj has done. And when you can sit there and look at a guy and say, this man literally gave us his last bit of his knees, his back, like everything in that last game. Like, if you need any more questions on should we keep playing Taj, Taj's knees gave us the answer. Taj's knees and back said no. His mental says he wants to play. The rest of his body's like, we're good. So that's the only reason. If you're going to go grab someone, 29-year-old Nerlens Noel, why not, right?
A couple things really exactly. I mean, I agree with that. Nerlens Noel is in his 20s at the very least. And I mean, if we sign him to a 10-day contract, does he play for 8 of the 10 days? Like, how long would he last before his knee cartilage inevitably messes up again? How many missed rebounds would we watch him fumble out of bounds before we're like, I forgot why I hate it? You know?
I'm
Go ahead.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, Joe. Go ahead.
I was going to say, actually, I'm glad you brought Phil's comment because the Knicks are the guy who keeps going back to his ex-girlfriend's Facebook accounts. Move on, bro. Me and Ange literally did a full live stream. If you check out our channel, it's the one that has Tibbs, Alec Burks, and Deuce McBride fading away, and it's a love triangle, and it's just like Tibbs and Burks forever. Because I literally made a 15-minute comparison to Alec Burks being Tibbs' toxic ex-high school girlfriend, and then they break up, and it's the best for Tibbs ever. And then finally, it's like the sophomore, junior year, like that summer of college. They haven't talked in years. Burks had him blocked for a long time, unblocked him. Tibbs has been looking every month, seeing
from fake accounts.
And then it's like, oh my God, Burks unblocked me. Let's see if I can reach out. And now they're back to hooking up in the summer, and this dude's getting 20, 25 minutes, and Deuce McBride's getting less than 10. And I'm like, no, we saw this. This dude isn't a point guard. Stop using him as your backup point guard.
But Joe, we knew it.
That is broken a third of the time.
Joe, we knew it, and I knew when we had the 10-hour trade special, right? And we said,
God bless you guys for doing that, by the way. That shit was long.
Thanks, bro. But we were
bro, it hurt me.
We're
my
all
body
excited
was hurt.
right now. Go ahead, Heck. My bad.
I was gonna say my body was hurt from that 10-hour live stream. I went to the gym the next day, and I was out for like the next 4 days after that. Go ahead, Sos.
It's all right. I forgot the hell I was saying. I'll give you. All right. So yeah, good talk, Joe. I had a point, and it was there, and then my eye kicked in, and I totally forgot what the hell we were talking about.
It was about Burks and Tibbs being his ex-girlfriend, if you can remember off of that.
Yeah, no. When it comes to Deuce McBride and his minutes, when this is what I was worried about too. When the trade speculation and the rumors were out there about the reunion with Alec Burks, I thought the Knicks going out there and getting Bojan and Burks to be a backup shooting guard, not a backup point guard. I thought the front office was signaling to us as a fan base that they trust Deuce McBride. It doesn't look like that right now. It looks like that they don't trust Deuce McBride, and they went out there to go get Alec Burks to help them facilitate that second unit. I think it's a bad move because when you look at Deuce McBride, he can knock down the three-point shot over 40%. He plays amazing defense, right? If you want to talk about his playmaking ability, yeah, that may be questionable. That may be iffy coming off of the bench with that second unit. But when you talk about playmaking ability and you look at Alec Burks, what fucking playmaking has he done, Joe? He just been out there just chucking up shots left and right. Like I said on the last,
to get himself to the baseline and then jack a shot that was contested anyway.
Exactly. I think Alec Burks, he tried to remind us Knicks fans. He was like, you guys always blame Julius Randle for the reason we lost against the Hawks in 2021. Let me show you the real reason. Brick. And that's what Alec Burks has been doing.
Bro, I don't know if there's a record for it. I don't know if anyone keeps track of this. I'm sure if someone on Basketball Reference was watching this and could figure it out. I feel like Alec Burks has the record for most years where your three-point percentage is higher than your field goal percentage. Just don't go inside the line, man. You are a mid-range assassin to yourself. You're assassinating yourself.
Let me look up
literally
that stat
just
real quick.
stop. It's like if you got to put that leg jump of yours.
Every year it's like 41% from three, 39% from the field. Like, what are you doing once you get inside the line?
Oh, that's what it was that I was talking about before, is the fact that on that 10-hour stream, we said everybody's happy right now, but we played devil's advocate and said, what happens when Burks goes back into that point guard role, starts chucking up bullshit? How are we going to feel? Here we are a week removed from the trade, and we're already having this conversation because we saw it coming, and it was what we were hoping. But my only hope and solace in it is we're seeing this version of him right now because of the injuries. Once everybody's back, then maybe we can see what the picture's really supposed to look like or how it was supposed to be drawn out. Doesn't change. I'm not excited with his selection of shots. Like, it's just you see and you're like, stop. What are you doing, Bergs? Like, let it go, man. Ebony says, Deuce having issues getting others involved in his handle has to get better, but I absolutely can't stand point guard Burks. I'm starting not to like shooting guard Burks either. He is just off specialist, nothing else. So, floor.
Yeah, and I'm right there, right? And like CP said in the chat, Deuce's playmaking isn't questionable. It's doubtful. No, and I'm right there with you, right? Deuce McBride has a very hard time initiating the offense. He's just dribbling around the court sometimes for like 5 or 10 seconds. But when you look at Alec Burks, him trying to start the offense, it's just Alec Burks chucking up a shot or trying to back somebody down to get to that corner elbow, like Joe said, and to chuck up a horrible shot. So I don't know. Maybe it's just Alec Burks is not comfortable yet with the team coming back. It's just this issue Tom Thibodeau has to figure out because I don't like what I'm seeing right now with Burks.
My thing with Deuce being the backup point guard, quote unquote, is that and this is when we're all healthy. And again, injuries have so much a part of this. Like, I literally predicted last week we were going to go 0-4 going into the All-Star break. And I said it multiple times, like after every game, like, this is bound to be a terrible thing. Thank God the Milwaukee Bucks suck and Doc Rivers is just tanking their season. Like, they just lost to the Memphis Grizzlies last night. So we're still only a game and a half behind them.
Joe, his name is Glenn Rivers going forward. He lost his doctorate, right? So he's not doc anymore.
We take the doc off, all right?
He loses 5 more games in a row, man. He's going to lose his bachelor's in a little bit, honestly. No, but like I forget Jay's full name on Twitter, but the dude that made the old Transformers cartoon where it's like the Knicks being the Transformer and the catching the Bucks with the 2 seed. What we didn't know is that Speedy Gonzalez, the Cleveland Cavaliers, were just going to fly past both of us. But we're still right there trying to catch the Bucks for the 3 seed because they're still hiding and cowering in the corner. Dude, what do you guys think that did you think Boogie Cousins slept with someone's wife or like some exec's daughter at some point? Like, how has this dude not been in the NBA the past 3 years? Because there's no shot that 32-year-old Boogie Cousins should not have had a tryout in the past 2 seasons.
I forgot what podcast I was listening to, but you bring up a great point. And I think when you look at Boogie, right, DeMarcus Cousins, when you look at Carmelo Anthony as well, those are guys that we can say right now in 2024, they're better than a lot of like the last few guys on a 15-man roster, right? When you look at the 15-man roster, the entire league, those last 3 guys that are on the end of the bench, we can arguably say that DeMarcus Cousins and Carmelo Anthony are better than a lot of those guys that are on at least 15 of those teams in the NBA. But when it comes down to it, it's money, right? Those last 3 guys on the roster aren't going to be making that vet minimum or that vet max that Carmelo and DeMarcus Cousins will make. It's a selfish reason. If you're a team that you're over the luxury tax or you're right there at that luxury tax threshold, if you have Carmelo Anthony on your bench at that $4 million max exception for a veteran or $8 million max except for a veteran, whatever it is right now, and you're over that penalty, that $8 million, it then turns into actually $16 million. So do you want to spend $16 million to have Carmelo Anthony only give you about like 10 minutes off the bench? It'll be amazing to help you with jersey sales at the beginning of the season, but for the remainder of the season, teams, they're just selfish. You know, billionaires try to penny pinch. It's a bullshit to me.
I just think if you're chasing a playoff spot at some point, it's like you gotta, like, if you're missing that many players, like the fact that Nerlens Noel and Taj Gibson get calls before like Marcus Cousins would from a center position standpoint, and knowing that with the guys that you have out for this team specifically, and then a couple other teams in the league, like the Suns could use a better backup center, but to your point, they're so far above the luxury tax that $4 million is $16 million immediately for them. But it's just like you're missing offensive firepower and scoring. This dude, I mean, granted it's Taiwan, but we've seen clips of him shooting the 3 now, which he's
killing it. Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know. It's just something. And then last thing I wanted to say about I think it was about Deuce. I actually forgot. I have to go to work in like a little bit. Right. Ideally, when we get all healthy again, like Deuce is going to unfortunately be the 11th man. I'd rather him be part of like the hockey subs that Tibbs always ends up pulling, unfortunately, because it's like the backup unit would be like not Deuce. It'd probably be Burks, but Bohan, Josh Hart, Precious Achua, and then whoever's not starting between Mitch and Ihart, probably Mitch. And then it's like if you do have Burks, Bohan, and if it's Ihart as the backup, that's another guy that just can create from the inside. You don't need Deuce McBride to be the point guard. You know what I mean? You need someone that's a spacing, and he's a good point of attack defender. Is he bad against bigger dudes still? And then can the TJ McConnells of the world, I saw someone comment that before, the craftiness that is TJ McConnell, can he get someone inside? Absolutely. But like, it's just the use. And I think when they paid him, the idea was that in 2 or 3 years, towards the end of his deal, when he's 25 years old, and he still keeps creeping up his offensive ability and like playmaking standpoint, that's when he'll actually be a viable, normal backup NBA point guard versus now he's still unfortunately a specialist for this team. He just still happens to be my favorite player on the team. I'm an undersized dude. I always like undersized guards. And he tries his ass off, which is all I can ask for. And Alec Burks throws the ball off the backboard half the time, which will always piss me off.
It's funny. Real quick, I want to say I had to look it up online because I saw someone say, "Hey, Joe, it's your birthday." I was like, "Oh shit, is it Joe's birthday?" But it's not your birthday, so I bet.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question. Yeah. I was gonna happy birthday,
Joe. Man, get to work. Appreciate you, bro. You know we love everything.
No, appreciate you.
Appreciate you calling in, bro.
Make sure if you guys are free at the end of the month to link up with us when we do that event with Tony and the rest of Knicks Twitter. We'll love to link up with Joe. Shout out to our guy Cassius Clay with the 1999 super chat. He says, with the All-Star break and 27 games left, what game are we looking at this season to get everyone back healthy? And that is a great question. Once I saw you put that in the chat, I immediately went to the schedule, right? So if we're thinking about it,
I mean, my whole dream would be obviously not counting Mitch, right? Mitch is going to be later, but
no, but
I was hoping March 3rd.
March 3rd, that's the game against the Cavaliers. We could potentially have OG and Julius Randle back at that time. That may be a little bit too early. Realistically, I would say March 10th to have Julius and OG back in the lineup together for the first time since the injury. But for the rest of the squad with Mitchell Robinson, I would say March 21st. I'm marking it down right now. March 21st versus the Denver Nuggets, I think, will be the game that everybody will be back. That Mitch will be back, OG will be back, and Julius Randle will be back. Knock on wood, there's no under injuries going up into that game. So March 21st, mark it on your calendar. Call your bookie and take out some money. Just don't bet the house. Be smart.
Cash. Do not spend your money, spend Hector's money, all right? I'm voting and begging and praying that March 3rd we have Julius and OG back. That is my hope right there.
No
Appreciate the super
folks,
chat, bro. Saw Sherwin.
We still have 100 people in the building, and we are sitting on 75 likes. If you guys can smack that like button, let's run it up. We are just 25 likes away from 100, and we got 118 people in the building rocking with us. We are at 3,518 subscribers. If you guys are watching us and not subscribed, hit the subscribe button. And shout out to Sherwin, who says Morning Brew Sports Network, the Knicks, the Golden State, and Denver run the same offense. You do not need a backup point guard or a point guard. Serwin, and that's a great point. What's your thoughts on Serwin point real quick, Celcito?
Well, I mean, I don't look at us as having more than one point guard. I see us just as Jalen Brunson is our point guard, right? Yeah. No one's really shown us that they can be that second unit. So, yeah, no, to word it that way, Sherwin, that the fact that Golden State and Denver run the same game makes sense, right? So that's why you see Brunson getting the minutes he gets. And when this team is healthy, I guess we'll discover if we really do have a backup point guard. But I think everybody in this chat agrees no one's really stepped into that role, and we don't want to see certain people in that role that are taking that role. So appreciate that one. Albert Ramos is in the building. Good call, Hector.
Appreciate you, Albert.
Alberto just bet the house with you for March 21st.
It's because when you bring up Jalen Brunson, when Jalen Brunson, the last game that we played, right? I get it. We lost and stuff like that. But we were up in that first quarter when Jalen Brunson was out there. When Jalen Brunson was taken out of that game, that offense cannot run. And granted, there's other factors. Julius not being there, OG not being there, Dante not being there. I get that. But when Jalen Brunson is taken out of the lineup and we have to go to our bench unit, it is a huge drop-off, a dramatic drop-off with our offense. Jalen Brunson, when you look at his plus-minus with OG and Julius Randle on the court, they are a historic plus-minus, the three of them together. Like, I think they're top three, if not the best plus-minus as a threesome in the entire NBA, right? But not having them on the court together is what's hurting us right now. But at the same time, I'm glad everybody's resting in the month of February, because if these injuries happen at the end of March going into April or in the middle of April getting ready for the postseason, then we have a serious issue. So shout out to my guy Soulfinger.
What up, Soulfinger? I also want to shout out Angel Vasquez in the building. I wish Drew and On come back March 8th and smack the ish out of the Magic.
Ooh, that's a good one.
Let's go.
That's a good one, because they violated us in the last game, and I'm being petty.
Park Street, the last report that just came out over the last 30 minutes from Stephen Bondi talking with Tibbs, Dante and iHeart will be okay and back right after the All-Star break. And then they believe that Julius will come back before OG and Mitch. So positive things that have been out there. So I just want to answer that question for him.
I want to shout out my guy Bones is in the building. Bones, how you doing? Where is everyone getting this Mitch is going to be coming off the bench from? I forget who our coach is. So best believe when Mitch comes back, the coach will start him, period, point blank, period. Bones, appreciate you. Thank you for being in the chat. I just think the injury that Mitch had, Bones, and the fact that he had surgery and had metal put in his foot, that's, for me, that's the only reason, if I'm Tom Thibodeau, having Mitch come off the bench, just because he's from the type of injury, you don't want to re-aggravate it, and you want to fully heal before he starts logging 38 to 40 minutes a game. That's just how I look at it, Bonesy.
Hold on, I saw this one. The question? It's not letting me highlight it. The last one that came in. Can you click it? It won't let me click it.
From Alberto?
Yeah.
Let's see.
Let me refresh.
Do you agree with that? Bogey will be backup for Randle and Precious to OG. What are you talking about? I don't have to see low.
Yeah, I was lost on it. I like
Bogdanovich. Will Bogdanovich
okay.
be the backup to Julius Randle and Precious be the backup to OG? No, I think Boji, Alberto, I think Bojan is going to be the backup for OG, and Precious is still going to be the backup power forward for Julius Randle. But you could do it interchangeable, right? So say like on offense, you can have Bojan play your small forward. But on defense, you can have him play the power forward or the small forward. You could switch those two interchangeably.
Before we wrap up, bro,
we
said we would talk on this, but let's bring it up now because I want to hear the chat's reaction to it yesterday. But it was, the podcast yesterday, Joe Budden said, I see Steph Curry getting traded soon. Right. And then Carmelo said, Steph ain't going nowhere, blah, blah, blah. But he said in the scenario, and where do you think he says Steph will go? So a winning contending team. Knicks.
Of course he says the Knicks. Joe Budden is a Knicks fan. Shout out to Joe Budden. But he's a Knicks fan as well. I gotta agree with Carmelo. Steph Curry's not going anywhere. He is a franchise player. He is a Golden State Warriors version of Derek Jeter. He is not going anywhere. If anybody gets traded, I think Draymond can get traded before Steph gets traded. I think Clay can get traded before Steph gets traded. Steph Curry is not getting traded. He ain't going anywhere. We were supposed to get Steph Curry, right? The Knicks were supposed to draft Steph Curry. The Golden State Warriors drafted him one pick before us. We all know that nightmare. We got Jordan Hill instead of Steph Curry, and instead of drafting DeMar DeRozan when we needed a shooting guard, we drafted Jordan Hill, a power forward, when we already had David Lee and Zach Randolph on the team. So, yeah, that's the New York Knicks for you in a nutshell.
Yeah, that man is staying where he is. He should, you should want that for the league, right? There the whole time, you know what I mean? Like, retire there, the number, everything. Also, shout out to Caitlin Clark, bro. You see that yesterday? You see how she broke the record with that shot? She wanted to look good. She gave him that long-range Steph Curry shit. That was dope.
It's a good time for basketball, right? And when it comes to sports in general, I know we're about to get ready to wrap it up, but New York City, we're gonna be rocking, right? This is the first time the Knicks have been this good in a very long time. At the end of the month, we are going to be in the city. The boys will be. I wish we had the rights to that song, The Boys Are Back in Town, because the boys will be back in town. I'm going to be in the building. I already live in the city, but Celso and Phil will be in the city. We're going to be with Tony at Blarney Stone. We got a pregame that we're doing as well. What time do you think the pregame going to start? Like 6 p.m. if the game's
6,
at 7?
I think. Yeah, I think
6,
the game.
yeah.
Actually, I think the game is at 8. So we're doing the pre at 7. We'll get all the details out to everybody.
We'll get all the details. But guys, if you guys in the city, if you guys are going to be by Madison Square Garden, Knicks versus Celtics, come out, come hang with us at Blarney Stone. You don't got to pay $100 for a ticket to the Garden. You can just come out and rock out with the Morning Brew crew and Tony and the Knicks community at Blarney's. Go ahead, Celso. Give them some more before we get out of here.
Before we go, I want to wake up Monday morning with a 3-point contest winner. That is a Knick. A slam dunk contest winner. That is a Knick. And Jalen Brunson winning the All-Star game. Is that too much?
I don't care about any of that. I just want our guys to be healthy. And if we could win a championship, we win a championship. Yes, 3-point contest is cute. Dunk contest is cute. I think the New York Knicks, I think, have the most slam dunk contest winners in the entire NBA when it comes to franchises. Because if you think about it, how many Knicks have won the slam dunk contest? Nate Robinson won it 3 times. Obi Toppin won it. The Skywalker, he won it. I think he won it twice as well. So that's the only thing Knicks fans have to look forward to is the slam dunk contest. That's what I'm talking about.
We got 82 likes. If you haven't smashed that like before you leave, just smack it for us. Hit the subby, share with your friends. If you have a friend, you're like, hey, you're a Knicks fan. And they're like, of course I am. Then you're like, oh, let me show you these guys over here. They talk Knicks. See how easy that was?
Knicks 100 said Brunson MVP, All-Star MVP, GM would be dead any noise. Knicks GM, appreciate you. Salute, salute, salute. He says, I'm looking for MVP of the All-Star game for Jalen Brunson.
Let's go.
I think that's a nice way to wrap up the All-Star break.
Last thing I'll say, anybody in the chat, again, if you're interested, 2 more people have stepped up. We've got 3 more tickets available.
3.
Well, technically 4 still available. So if you got anybody wants to join us that Monday night, February 26th, Knicks versus Pistons, Section 301. We literally got the tickets for 120. Let us know before 4 o'clock. We're closing it out, and we'll rock with the 20 people that have joined us. Man, heck, happy Friday, bro.
Happy Friday, bro. You know, like I always say, you guys, make sure you guys say something nice about yourself in the mirror. Make sure you drink your water, stay hydrated, say something nice to your neighbor. And until next time, it's what, So?
Thank you, CT Pittman. Deuces!
Deuces.